surface, because the Epstein files also reveal that Donald Trump has made false statements over the past quarter century about Jeffrey Epstein. We know in 2002 he called him a terrific guy and said, quote, "It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side." In a birthday card, 2003, that Donald Trump gave to Jeffrey Epstein for his 50th birthday, Donald wrote for himself that we have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Enigmas never aged. Have you noticed that? A pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday. And may every day be another wonderful secret. But in that same year, Palm Beach County opened an investigation into Epstein that eventually was turned over to the FBI. The investigation became public in 2006, and the Palm Beach County police chief received a call quickly after from Donald Trump, where Trump told him, "Thank goodness you're stopping."
Trump's supporters were promised one thing above everything else: the Epstein files, fully released, no redactions, no cover-up. That promise is now dead. And the person Trump blamed for killing it, his own attorney general, was fired 2 weeks ago. Pam Bondi stood before Congress and swore there was no evidence Trump committed a crime. She then refused, under subpoena, to answer follow-up questions about what she knew and when. Trump fired her on April 2nd. His own White House chief of staff, Susie Wiles, had already told Vanity Fair that Bondi completely whiffed on the Epstein files. But here is what the MAGA base was never told. The DOJ isn't just hiding the files from Democrats. They are hiding them from everyone. 3 million pages, half the total file count, remain withheld right now. The documents that were released were redacted in the wrong places, accomplice names blacked out, victim personal details left visible. That is not incompetence. That is a decision. The man who promised to expose the swamp is at the center of the files the swamp is hiding. Thousands of mentions. In documents the government tried not to.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to discuss this administration's massive cover-up of the Epstein files in order to conceal President Trump's involvement. This cover-up reached its apex last month when Attorney General Pam Bondi falsely testified under oath before the House Judiciary Committee. The Attorney General testified, quote, "There is no evidence that Donald Trump has committed a crime. Everyone knows that," unquote. This is a lie. In the 3 million or so documents that the DOJ has disclosed to Congress under the Epstein Files Transparency Act, there is credible evidence that Donald Trump committed a crime. And that, of course, excludes the nearly 3 million pages that the DOJ is refusing to turn over. Donald Trump is mentioned thousands of times in the Epstein files. There are multiple allegations that he sexually assaulted young girls. But I want to focus on one.
Release. There are multiple allegations of sexual assault in those files. Goldman focused on one, a victim who spoke to the FBI 4 times between 2019 and her final interview, where she asked the agents point blank what the point was of providing information when nothing could be done. She bit Trump's penis because he disgusted her. She said it. She told the FBI. The FBI believed her enough to put her account in a prosecutorial brief. The DOJ then hid 3 of her 4 interview reports. That woman is not a political operative. She was between 13 and 15 years old when she says this happened. And the agency that exists to give crime victims justice spent years trying to keep her account out of the public record. Bondi's February hearing was a preview of the cover-up. She deflected every Epstein question. She talked about the stock market. She berated members of Congress for not focusing on good news. When Democratic members walked out after 30 minutes, the camera caught her looking completely unbothered. That is the performance of someone who knows the camera is the only accountability she will face. What's the point of providing the information when there's a strong possibility nothing can be done about it? That is a crime victim.
She credibly accuses Donald Trump of sexually assaulting her when she was between 13 and 15. In each of her interviews, this victim recited the same account of her interaction with Donald Trump. On August 7th, 2019, she explained that she was between 13 and 15 when she was left alone with Donald Trump, who, quote, mentioned something to the effect of, "Let me teach you how little girls are supposed to be." Trump unzipped his pants and put her head down, quote, "down to his penis," bit the S out of it. Trump struck the victim and said words to the effect of, "Get this little B the hell out of here." The victim advised that she bit Trump's penis because he disgusted her. She provided some additional details in the next interview 2 weeks later, and then a month later, she met again with the FBI and asked, quote, what the point would be of providing the information at this point in her life when there was a strong possibility nothing could be done about it. She didn't speak to the FBI again. But the FBI certainly found her story credible.
Talking to federal law enforcement, and she was right to be skeptical because the system she was talking to chose to protect itself over her. The Epstein Files Transparency Act only passed because Congress forced it. Trump opposed it for months before signing it. The DOJ missed its own disclosure deadline. The documents that did come out had the wrong things redacted, and the woman who oversaw all of that just used her firing as an excuse to dodge a sworn deposition. Survivors Maria and Annie Farmer have been publicly begging Congress to force Bondi's testimony immediately. They have been waiting since the late 1990s. The government has been running out the clock on them for almost 30 years. Goldman's floor speech is not the most powerful thing about this story. The most powerful thing is that a teenage girl told this to the FBI in 2019. The FBI believed her, and it took until 2026, on the floor of the House of Representatives, for the American public to hear it. You were promised the truth about Epstein. What you got was a managed release of half the files, wrong redactions, a fired attorney general, and a skipped deposition. The document Goldman held up on the House floor was shown to Congress unredacted.
Trump also denied that he ever went on Epstein's plane. But of course, the Southern District of New York said that he was on his plane 8 times, often with young women. The reason why this matters is because we don't have half of the Epstein files. And if the Attorney General is covering this up in such a degree that she is redacting things from Congress, that she then, redacting things from the public that she then shows to Congress, what else is she covering up? And I would just show that this document here was redacted to the public, it was unredacted to Congress, and it completely disputes everything that Donald Trump has said about Jeffrey Epstein, about what he knew about the allegations, about his disgusting behavior, about whether he'd ever been to Epstein's house, saying, "I may have been there with my wife." Asked if any young girls were there. No. He may have had children of guests, but that's it. Well, we know that's not the case. Now, why is this important? Because if the Attorney General is covering up this information that she then reveals to Congress, what else is she covering up about Donald Trump's involvement in the Epstein files? I yield back.
The public version blacked out. That gap between what the government told the people and what it told itself is the entire story. Trump denied being on Epstein's plane. Federal prosecutors from the Southern District of New York documented 8 flights. Trump said in 2019 that he barely knew Epstein. In 2002, he called him a terrific guy who liked women on the younger side. In 2003, he wrote a birthday card referencing wonderful secrets. A teenage girl told the FBI what happened to her. The FBI believed her. The DOJ buried it. The AG who buried it got fired. The AG who fired her is now dodging the subpoena. The people who told you they would drain the swamp are the ones currently deciding which 3 million pages you are not allowed to see. That is the story, not the politics, not the partisanship. The documents, the flights, the testimony, and the cover-up that spans both parties and multiple administrations and is still happening right now. Share this video, the comment section is open, and subscribe, because this is not the last shoe to drop.